皆さん、こんにちは。ジョーです。今日はですね、僕は今東京に来てるんですけれども、東京のバックパックのオフィスにお邪魔させていただきました。で、今日はですね、ウォレットの担当されている、ゴンザロさんにですね、お話をお伺いしていきたいと思います。Thank you so much for your time. I'm pretty happy to visit the office and meet you in person finally. Today we'd like to ask you what's coming ahead in terms of the wallet change and so on. I think we are expecting breakpoint coming soon, so we might have some sort of announcement, before or at the breakpoint. So I want to ask you some questions about that. But before going to too much detail, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure, yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Gonzalo. I'm the head of wallet growth at Backpack. I have been with the company for around 2 years. And when I joined, it was before MadLads had a name, before the art was completed. So I originally joined to be a part of the MadLads operations team, helping run the community, create content. But that quickly evolved into a customer support role for our extension, given that all of the MadLads experiences were run in the extension. And from there, I became the head of wallet growth, where I help out with marketing, the wallet, as well as the app, which is a wallet and exchange, and also help engineers, developers prioritize and determine what the most useful features, most requested features for on-chain users are.
I think now wallet is most of or half of the product that you guys building, because exchange hasn't been available, especially for Japanese audience. So it's pretty excited about asking more questions about this. Or shall we just go into the new announcement, what's coming ahead, or?
I guess I could give a quick rundown of maybe Backpack as a wallet and exchange and
Sure.
the sort of status of that. So we are indeed both a self-custodial wallet and a centralized exchange.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're not very similar in the way that we've built things compared to, say, Coinbase or other exchanges who have launched their own wallets, namely because we started as an on-chain wallet company first. And really, we are an on-chain company from the beginning. The holding company of Backpack is called Coral, and Coral is also the company that owns Anchor, which is the smart contract framework that's most widely used on Solana. So most Solana apps that you use and love are built with the Anchor framework. So this was the open source protocol was developed by Armani. This is one of the things that was necessary for Solana in the beginning. And actually, fun fact, Coral is also the company that built Solid, the first Solana wallet, which is what everyone was using in the early days, before other wallets came to the scene. And so obviously we've have our on-chain roots. We are an on-chain first company. And as an exchange, what we want to do is enable everyone to use the on-chain apps that we know and love and make it as seamless as possible for people who are brand new to crypto, who only have fiat to ultimately buy their first crypto, start using the on-chain apps in the safest way possible, and really just provide them with a very smooth experience. While the exchange has definitely taken up a lot of our mind share and resources within the company, we still have a very dedicated wallet team, and we see it as the foundation for what we've built and are continuing to build.
Right. And then you have a couple products, especially I think unique part of your team is having a MadLads also. But you think having a MadLads could be a differentiator from other products or the team, you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Yeah, the MadLads are definitely worth their own conversation. When I first joined the Backpack team, I had many conversations with the co-founders Armani and Tristan, but they told me a few things that I'll never forget, which include the main reason that they were so set on creating an NFT project and put so much effort, so much time. The MadLads art took, I would say, weeks of actual effort of back and forth with a very talented artist. And many artists, as we've first, as Tristan first tried to determine what the style and the artwork would look like. The reason so much time was invested into MadLads is because we wanted this to be a timeless piece of art, and we wanted this collection to truly resonate with people. And I was surprised when I first started, before I joined Backpack, when I was just watching Armani's screen and he would show me, hey, what do you think about this? Or like the early art. I was surprised how much they were focused on this. It seemed like, aren't you guys a product company? Aren't you building a wallet? But MadLads are a critical part of Backpack for namely two reasons. Number one is the most impactful companies, or rather the companies that are able to break through and have cultural relevance, are the combination of excellent product and culture. Examples of these kinds of companies include Nike and Apple. And I know Armani was heavily inspired by his time working at Apple, but ultimately, MadLads are the way that we can truly infuse the on-chain culture, as well as some additional soul and character to the actual Backpack product. And MadLads are also our 6,000 true fans. They are aligned not just with using the product and referring the product, but also with the values that we stand for. And having this community is like a superpower of sorts, because not only are these individuals all on-chain users, like the ideal demographic of wallet users that we're ultimately interested in building a product for, but these are also people who were around Solana when Solana was at $16, when very few teams were building on Solana. And what this means is that these people who minted MadLads and have continued to hold, which is a significant portion of them, they are not tourists. These are not speculators or quick in and out buyers, flippers, as we call them. Rather, these are like real Solana fans. And for that reason, which I think is like not something we necessarily planned, but it's just the way things turned out. But for this reason, we think we have like a special community of individuals that truly believe in Solana, truly believe in Backpack, have been through Backpack or with Backpack through our ups and downs. And ultimately, we couldn't be happier with the way that the community has aligned around the company. I would also add that, Backpack, when it was under a beta program, we basically made beta access the equivalent to the Mad List. And so that dynamic really helped forge this mindset of MadLads are the beta testers. They're the ones who get early access to the new features. They're the ones that we build the product for. They're the ones who give us feedback. And really, this is a really nice reflexive loop where we keep iterating on the product based on what the MadLads tell us that they want.
Okay, so my next question is, what's coming from here, right? In terms of the new features and so on. I believe so far, Backpack Wallet is kind of similar to others in terms of the interface. But is it going to be changed, or new features, new functions? What's going to be the change?
Yeah, so
if you can tell, you can talk about it. Yeah.
There's a few things that we can't talk too much about, but we could definitely share some information about both the exchange and the wallet. On the exchange side of things, three big things are coming in the near future that have been basically under development for the past 3-4 months. Futures, borrow lending, as well as a proof of reserves interface. All of these are features that from day one we knew we were going to integrate onto the exchange. However, they take time, especially like a risk engine. Basically, we're going to have a phased rollout where we have an open early invite for people to start trying out the futures platform. And I think we will be making a whole experience out of it, a whole event. I can maybe dive into that later.
Okay.
But that's what to expect on the exchange side of things.
Are they all native products or integrate other products?
These are all native. To go into a bit more detail, for example, the proof of reserves interface, from day one, Backpack Exchange was basically built like an internal blockchain, like a centralized internal one node blockchain. Not because, we want to take it on chain or we want to, have an L2 or something like that, but rather because the blockchain structure, the infrastructure, is precisely the types of features that we need in order to have a verifiable, trustless, and reproducible state of the system. And so ultimately, people will be able to have a guarantee that the assets on the exchange are indeed, backed one-to-one and on the exchange itself. On the future side of things, it's been just a long process in developing the risk engine, developing the margin system, and the futures platform. Don't have much specific details there. I think it's similar to most other futures platforms, but I think one thing that we seek to do and accomplish is to be the most capital efficient futures trading platform that exists. And in order to achieve this, we have to dial in our risk parameters very, very finely. Yeah, that's I think a little bit of what's coming on the exchange side of things. On the product side, however, there's also two major work streams that are continuous for the exchange. One is fiat on-ramps, enabling anyone in the world to take money from their bank, deposit it into the exchange, and ultimately convert it into crypto. In order to do this, we need licenses with banks, and basically that's moving at the speed of like Web 1 or like Web 0.5, or I don't think that's even a term, but it's moving at the speed of bureaucracy. And so for that reason, it takes a lot of time, a lot of meetings, a lot of manpower, and a lot of just regional specific growth efforts. Similarly, we also are seeking more licenses to serve more users across the world. And so at the moment, or rather when we first launched Backpack Exchange, we launched with the VARA license in Dubai. This gave us very large coverage and access to a lot of the world, but at the end of the day, we want to rank every country by GDP per capita and serve, the top 80% of countries. This means the United States, the EU, Japan, Singapore, and all of these jurisdictions have their own frameworks, which means we need to go through the process of acquiring the licenses. Obviously, we're based here in Japan, and we are in the process of working with the JFSA to get a license and ultimately launch the exchange for Japanese users. And similarly, we're doing this across other jurisdictions.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the near future, we'll have some major announcements of just going online in different regions. But unfortunately, the timelines on these types of things are highly unpredictable, and we can only say that we're working on it. I would also add that I think something that's important for the Solana ecosystem is to have an exchange that's aligned with Solana itself. Obviously, as an on-chain company, as I mentioned previously, we are extremely focused on enabling and celebrating the on-chain activities. And this is not something we will deviate from as we continue to go live with the exchange. In fact, we want to double down on it and basically enable people to use applications in a safe way through the exchange. Hopefully we'll have a major announcement regarding this by Breakpoint, but if not, maybe what I just said will make a bit more sense later on. On the wallet side of things, there's, I guess, two main work streams that maybe we can categorize with respect to like new features and things that we're doing. Number one is we're continuing to add new networks to ultimately support through the wallet. A field of networks that we're excited about and we're seeing a lot of traction with is SVMs, or Solana virtual machines.
Right.
Similar to Ethereum virtual machines and all the L2s that exist on Ethereum, there's been very recent developments of Solana virtual machines from Eclipse, Sonic, and there's a few more that I could list out. Over the past 4 months, there was an effort to basically make Backpack Wallet able to integrate new networks more easily. This meant a lot of UI rework, UX rework, basically enabling more networks to be added and things not breaking or things not looking off, but also having a sort of infrastructure that is so flexible that we can accommodate for the different networks and their peculiarities. And so for this reason, we're able to integrate networks like Eclipse and Sonic pretty rapidly, especially because it's a matter of, modifying the RPC connection, having an indexing solution so that we can actually process the unchained data. But once those two things are completed, there's very minimal work needed for us to actually go live with a network. And so for this reason, we're excited to support more and more over the coming months as they continue to launch. Hopefully we'll have some exciting announcements too about some of the SVMs that we've integrated and potential campaigns that we'll be running together. On the other side, the focus for Backpack Wallet has also been to refine, polish, and ultimately make the UX as buttery smooth as possible. We acknowledge that, the existing wallets are highly smooth, very, very functional, and ultimately we've been building a product that's had there's been a lot of fundamental feature development in place, but now is the time to really refine and polish. And so some of the things that people can expect in the coming weeks with the new wallet updates include a much faster experience when it comes to onboarding, sending transactions, using the in-app browser on mobile app. But also, we are reconsidering the structure of the app itself, of the wallet, and how it plays along with the exchange. And so soon, if you have an exchange account as well as wallets on the Backpack app, the UX will be slightly different, where instead of being greeted by your portfolio when you open the wallet, you'll be greeted with a homepage that includes your portfolio summary along the top, but ultimately shows you all the exciting apps, all the featured apps, popular trending apps, as well as the prices of tokens, which is more similar and resembles what you see on the exchange.
Right.
Most people are accustomed to opening up an exchange app and seeing not their portfolio first, but rather a sort of discover, explore page where they can find out what's going on in the world of crypto in this day. And so similarly, when we found ourselves switching between the exchange network and the wallet networks, we saw that perhaps there's a way to make this experience a bit more seamless and basically not have such a switch occur when people switch. In the near future, the wallet will be slightly different for users who have an exchange account. I think for users who have a wallet account, it'll look pretty much the same in terms of structure. However, all the polish and UI refinements will obviously impact in a positive way.
Right. But here you're talking about the mobile wallet, not the browser wallet?
Correct. The mobile app is our main focus and is where we're dedicating the most resources to for two reasons. One is it's the complete product. This is the exchange product, which will include futures as well as, of course, our spot trading platform. But also it's our wallet product, and this includes the in-app browser, and it includes all of the useful wallet tools such as Solana Pay and swapping and all these core functions that people know and expect from a wallet. And so these changes, or I guess the change of seeing the homepage in the beginning is not going to go live for the extension, namely because the extension is only the wallet. However, something that's been impacting us for a little bit of time now has been that the extension has been far ahead of the mobile app in terms of features, network supported. There's mainly two reasons for this. One is application review cycles are much longer than extension review cycles. Particularly on iOS, it took us a very long time to get the exchange approved. And ultimately, this caused us to lag on the mobile front. And ultimately, our main focus is now to get the mobile app to the state where it's at feature parity in the wallet side of things with the extension. But really, we want to go above and beyond and deliver just the smoothest experience for the mobile app users, especially because specifically for Backpack app, there's this exchange and wallet interplay that doesn't exist on the extension and is something that we want to really capitalize on. And we believe that when you have, this fully featured exchange, a fully featured wallet, and you have them in the same place, there's interesting opportunities that arise with respect to how you can improve the user experience and enable users to just have a very seamless time when they're interacting between the exchange and the wallet. So that's also like a core focus of ours.
Okay, so my next question is, earlier you mentioned about the future product releasing, and then it's a phased approach you have. Can you elaborate more?
Yeah, sure. So maybe I will go into a bit of background about our mindset when it comes to campaigns and running events within the product. So as some of you may or may not know, the MadLads mint occurred within Backpack extension. This was not an easy decision for us, or rather, we knew we were doing it from the start, but it was not easy to execute. Building an NFT minting interface, especially when there's a lot of bots that ultimately snipe the contracts, is difficult to combat. But actually, we managed to succeed. Just to add more context, MadLads aimed to mint on April 20th of 2023. We were not able to mint on that Thursday evening. And the reason was because we were getting DDoSed like crazy from basically people trying to mint.
Yeah.
This DDoS was so intense that CoinGecko, which was the API we were using for our prices on the tokens, their API went down.
Oh, wow.
Cloudflare experienced some slowness because of it too. And ultimately, we decided to postpone the mint to the next day. This was a Friday evening, and so we knew that it was a very critical moment because if we delayed it further, it would be the weekend. Maybe attention would drop off. Thankfully, we succeeded on that Friday evening. The thing we did to combat the bots was ultimately to create a honeypot. And so we made a fake contract that people sniped, and many people ultimately thought that they got a MadLad, but actually they just got a real rug that never revealed into a MadLad. And we refunded everyone. But thankfully, because of the success of this honeypot, we were able to, I think, have like 8,000 unique holders on day one.
Wow. Which
is unheard of for a 10,000 NFT collection. This was, I think, really special, not just because we were able to have a diverse holder set, but also because we were able to give everyone who actually wanted to mint a chance to mint, which is something that, at the time, it was just hard to participate in these public NFT mints. They were all getting sniped by people running their own bots.
Yeah.
Similarly, though, we want to create this excitement around, the products we're building and drive people's attention to the actual product within the product. And so for the futures rollout, which will be a phased approach, we plan to run a similar playbook in terms of high energy, high, production value, high emotions, hopefully, maybe having people expect chaos of sorts. But really, we want to stress test our risk engines. We want to stress test our futures platform, and we want people to break things in this early stage, because the earlier that we find these inadequacies, the faster we can improve the product. And so, of course, we're going to run some campaign within the exchange. Hopefully, we'll have more details to share before Breakpoint or by Breakpoint. But I think the main expectation that people should have is just a high energy event where those who participate, those who successfully, achieve what we're ultimately trying to incentivize for, will be rewarded in a way similar to how those who beta tested Backpack were rewarded with a MadLad. And so this doesn't mean we're launching a new NFT collection or anything like that, but we do see this not just as a part of, product testing and getting feedback, but also as a form of community building. Shared experiences are one of the strongest ways where people can bond and ultimately develop memories that they can look back on. And we think that if we can create a very strong campaign, a very strong event or series of events that, really feels like a roller coaster of emotions, not only because maybe we tweak things or architect things in a way that's interesting, but also because there's real, money at stake and there's real, bugs to uncover. We think that not only will the product be better, but we'll also form and expand our existing community.
Thank you so much for your time, despite the busy season or always busy building products. I'm looking forward to those announcements and Breakpoint or before Breakpoint. And I hope all the Japanese users experience more, not just on the wallet side, but in the future exchange side too. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.